Yes, sir. Let's do it. Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's the home of the Clippers here in Los Angeles as 2K Sports presents our action live from the Staples Center. I'd like to welcome you to the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan. Joining me, Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and courtside, Doris Burke. It's a single-game return to Los Angeles for the Clippers as they look for a boost from their home crowd. One of the better teams in the league. They're presently 9 games off the lead.
Well, guys, you've heard the old adage, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in one season. We'll see if that's the case today. This will be the third matchup, and they're 2-0 against these guys so far.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, every game is a separate entity. They're clearly the superior team when you look at the matchup. So for that reason, I look for the same result today.
And checking out Minnesota's opening lineup. G. He's in at the point. Young out there with Pekovic. Then it's Wiggins, and it's Martin in at the 2 spot. And it's Paul penetrating. About a minute played so far here in the first. Good.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him. Well, you know, Chris Paul has such an intelligence for the game. High IQ, and he's extremely competitive. He looks for every advantage he can get, whether it's 2-for-1s or looking to sell a call to the officials. He always appears to be driven to find that edge.
They get the rebound. Crawford, no one around him. No good on the triple. Griffin, and it's good. Fought through contact, hits the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
I'll tell you what, the post play has been rock solid right off the bat.
Well, that's the key to basketball. Get the ball inside into the paint, either with a pass or with penetration. You know, it's interesting to look at the relationship between Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. Blake, the unquestioned top dog until CP3 arrived 3 seasons ago, and Paul, of course, such a vocal leader. I think it's taken them some time to find the balance in that dynamic.
And Griffin, you know, not quite as outspoken, doesn't get into teammates like Chris Paul does, but he is becoming more of a vocal leader, and that's a process, guys. It doesn't happen right away. He may focus more on encouragement rather than giving marching orders like CP3, but he is embracing that leadership role, which is a good sign.
And DeAndre Jordan throws it down.
Boy, extremely opportunistic defense leading to those points there.
That dunk, Clark, coming within seconds of the steal.
Love the way they convert from defense to offense.
But that's what happens when you get all 5 guys on a string defensively, ready to react and make a play.
And Dak Rivers said coming in, one of his goals was to help Griffin really solidify his standing as one of the league superstars along with CP3, with the emphasis certainly on defense.
Well, and I think Doc has accomplished that, and Griffin has accomplished that. He's gotten much better in terms of his offensive weapons, his defensive awareness, just his command of a double team when he sees that. Griffin has become a true superstar, no doubt about it.
Here's G, following the score by Jamal Crawford. And Wiggins with the basket on the assist by G.
Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
Crawford dishes to Jordan. Looks for Paul. Gets it to him. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup.
They've got themselves in front with some outstanding shooting right off the bat.
Yeah, it's been a clinic at that end of the floor, no question.
Here's G, defended by Paul. It's Martin on the wing. G kicks to Wiggins, takes a three, and it's Griffin with the rebound.
Couldn't convert, but nice little two-man game there.
And it wouldn't surprise me to see them go back to that the next trip.
Always going up for the alley-oop here. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession.
Looking now at some numbers for Chris Paul. Since the All-Star break, he's been superb. First in steals, and he ranks in the top 5 in the league in assists, so doing an excellent job of creating offense for his team.
And just to mention his steals again, Steve, he's one of those guys who's in a zone where it's like he knows what the other guys are doing. His anticipation is excellent. I mean, it's almost psychic.
Here's G. He's coming off a 13-point game against Portland.
And he was so good defensively, anticipating every pass. He had a ton of steals in that game.
The Minnesota Timberwolves come into this one following a loss to the Trailblazers.
They found themselves up against a hot team that night, Kevin, and they just didn't have the manpower defensively to shut them down.
You know, guys, I expected a little more fight out of them than what they showed us. They never strung together any stops like they needed to.
DeAndre Jordan has always had a knack for the incredible, and it usually manifests itself in his dunks or blocks. But last year he committed himself more on the defensive end, and it really made a difference for him.
Timberwolves trail by 6. Out to the right wing. Here's Martin. Crawford with the rebound. The Clippers have gone 6 of 8 in the game so far. A very solid start for them. No one near him. And he gets the bucket. Crawford's got his second basket of the night.
How about the passing there? Moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
And why don't we quickly go to the 2K leaderboard and find out which have been the hottest at the free throw line this season. You look at Kevin Martin, the best in the NBA. You put him on the line and it's nearly automatic. And of course, J.J. Redick. Minnesota with the ball. 8-point game. And a wide open look here for Wiggins. Another miss by Minnesota.
I don't know if it's just me, but he's looked a step slow since the start of the quarter. His shooting has really suffered.
And it's blocked. Kicks it out to Paul. Here's Griffin. Cashes in for a double-digit lead. Griffin's got 5.
I love the aggressiveness with their approach, pounding the ball inside, and it's working.
They are owning this game early. They are constantly finding lanes to the basket.
Here's G, right now averaging 7 points a game. Young, a screen on Paul. And there's the defensive 3-second call. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for Los Angeles.
They've been making some really nice passes out there. Excellent passes. And that could set the tone for the rest of the game.
And they're also showing some muscle here in the first half, finding a lot of points in the paint area.
Catching up on the changes for the Clippers. Spencer Hawes is checked in for Jordan. Dudley comes in for Barnes. And J.J. Redick is subbed in for Paul. And a change for the Timberwolves. Corey Brewer's checked in for Wiggins. For the Los Angeles Clippers, they come in off a good outing against Golden State.
And if you look at their numbers in that game, what jumps out most is the balance offensively. They really spread the wealth.
And they were on fire in all areas. That was a very satisfying road win. Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Now, you got to make a defensive adjustment here, Clark. Time to collapse inside, force the ball back out in the perimeter, make them beat you from long range.
Los Angeles leading by 9.
Well, this last season was the Clippers' 30th in Los Angeles, and for a team that's long played in the Lakers' shadow, for the second season in a row, the Clippers were the best team in L.A.
He had a nice open look right there. Redick's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. .152 left to play in the first quarter. G kicks to Martin from the arc. Tries again. Brewer's shot is off. On offense, here are the Clippers. They're on a 20-7 run.
That's it. And you know this man.
In their 30 years in LA, folks, only 6 times have they finished the regular season with a better winning percentage than the Lakers.
Checked in for Hawes. Griffin comes in for Davis. Barnes, he's checked in for J.J. Redick. And it's Paul in for Jamal Crawford. Minnesota also making some changes. Wiggins is checked in for Young. G comes in for J.J. Barea. And Mo Williams subbed in for Ricky Rubio. Blake Griffin down low and DeAndre Jordan. Paul out there with Jared Dudley. And it's Barnes in at the 3, the small forward. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. That's good. And guys, for the Clippers, acquiring coach Doc Rivers from the Celtics in exchange for a draft pick in Boston. He'd been the second longest tenured coach in the league after Greg Popovich.
You know, but rather than rebuild, I think he wanted to go for another ring in L.A. He's got a lot of authority, final say on personnel decisions. So Doc has really put his stamp on this team.
Clippers leading by 19. And Dudley kicks to Paul. Jordan the screen. Here's Barnes. No luck. Nice D from G. For Minnesota, they've gone 2 of 5 from the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Yes, Kevin, Chris Paul, as you know, has accomplished so much in the NBA, but he's ready for that ultimate prize. As Paul said, that's the only thing that matters now. At this point in my career, I'm only focused on building for the postseason, because that's where you make your name, and that's where you make your imprint on history. He's looking to add to that wonderful legacy, guys.
He certainly is. Thanks, Doris.
Well, you can see that desire on the court. He's so focused.
Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. Paul outside. Griffin sets the screen for Paul. Dudley the pass to Jordan, and stolen by Pekovic. Here's G. Outside Williams. Out left to the wing. Here's G, defended by Paul. G, no good.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the board.
Well, the main thing is they haven't allowed many second chance opportunities. And that is always going to allow you to maintain your lead. Nikola Pekovic might be the strongest player in the league, guys. 6'11", 285, a power lifter's physique. He's impossible to move once he gets position.
6 to shoot. Passes to G. Minnesota needs to get off a shot here. Wiggins goes back up, and Pekovic with the lay-in. Pekovic has got his second bucket of the night.
It's a great play under the boards for him, and you know that's the standard that he sets. It seems like all those second chance points, I mean, they're there for him game in, game out.
Some changes for Minnesota. Young's checked in for Nikola Pekovic, and it's Martin in for Corey Brewer. Some information for us, Doris.
Hi, Kevin. Flip Saunders was just going over the plan with his team. He made it clear that their offense needed to run through G. Coach is looking for him to take on a lot of responsibility when they've got the ball, to be a leader at the offensive end. He also wants his players putting pressure on the defense with early offense, lots of shots, and an aggressive approach in general whenever they've got the ball. I'm sure Coach is hoping those changes turn the tide in this game and shrink the deficit before halftime. Back to you, Kevin.
And as always, Doris, thank you.
Blake Griffin, arguably the top posterizer in the game, but opponents don't like being embarrassed, and they'll take a hard foul on him if need be. Some have said that Griffin needs to retaliate for his own well-being. He's got to go back at some of those guys.
Young's shot is off.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
And they double up Paul. Jordan dishes to Dudley. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Jordan. Dudley's got 5 points in the quarter. And Griffin has said he thought about retaliating for the hard fouls, but he said, Steve, you know, it might be best for me, but getting suspended would be very bad for my team. He had his head on straight, obviously.
Well, yeah, credit him for, trying to keep his cool and not get caught up in the moment. But understand that, there's there's always a two-way street. He oftentimes initiates the contact, and he's such a physical player that he's always going to get caught up and tangled up with other players.
Such a wide open look. And the Clippers lead by 19. The Timberwolves have gone 5 of 12 from the field here in the second. Williams kicks to G, fires the three. The shot misses. So the Clippers will take it the other way. 22 is their biggest lead.
Well, an 8-rebound advantage like the one they have now is always going to swing the score hard in that team's direction.
And that's certainly been the case today. Their rebounding has made a huge difference.
Los Angeles leading by 17. Pass to Griffin. Dishes to Barnes. Clippers moving the ball around. Poked away. It's stolen by G. Kevin Martin on the wing. Here's G. Now Young inside. And stolen by Jordan. And now the fast break. Griffin with the ball. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Matt Barnes really a good glue guy. Rebounds, defend.
That's it. And you know this man.
Really run the lane.
So as we conclude the first half, so far fairly one-sided. Los Angeles on top, opening up a huge gap. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, obviously things have not gone your way to this point, at least through the first 2 quarters. How are you guys going to get back in this one?
Well, it's a game of runs, right? They came out strong and got hot from the floor, which allowed them to build this lead. But I think we'll be able to make a run of our own when we come out of half. I guess we'll see.
Let's hope you have time to cover it. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, Doris, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for the third quarter of basketball.
Come on now, guys. We can get back into this game and take these fans out of it.
Everyone to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. You look at Jamal Crawford in this game. I mean, he's been everywhere.
Well, his ability to disrupt passes and get a hand on the ball, force a turnover, make a steal, been really impressive.
When he defends you, he basically forces you to play perfect. Any lapse of concentration, and he'll pick your pocket.
Checking out the group for Flip Saunders to start the second half. G, he's in at point guard. Wiggins is out there with Young. And there's Bekovic, and it's Martin in at the 2.
I'd say that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, it sure did. A good job getting it started, and a better job finishing it off.
Paul kicks to Jordan. And there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
Flying high and throwing down the hard one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
And he does it as well as anyone. Tremendous skill in the air.
Here's G. He kicks to Young. Wiggins passes to G. He dishes it to Bekovic. Crawford with the steal. Lets it go from 14. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Last time they met was in Minnesota.
Well, there's no doubt they played well enough to win that game. It truly could have gone either way, Clark.
Well, the lesson in this one is you can't just play well for 3.5 quarters and expect to win. I mean, they didn't close it out the way they should have. That's on them.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Clippers will retain possession. And an interesting look here at the top assisting point guards this season. Setting up teammates, being a playmaker. One of the hallmarks of being a premier point guard in the NBA. Number 1, Chris Paul.
You know, for the purists out there, he has really been fun to watch with the ball in his hands. He can make any pass on the court, and he creates so many easy baskets for his teammates.
Yeah, you know, I'd love to know, Steve, how many of their baskets have come as a direct result of one of his passes. I know it's a bunch. Their offense isn't near what it is without him at the wheel. Boy, guys, they've shown some great passing on their last few trips down the floor. Excellent.
Yeah, that's 4 straight trips, guys, where their passes have ended up in scores. 4 straight assists. Great team play.
Crawford kicks to Paul. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession.
Let's take a look at Jamal Crawford, some of the stats for him. How the second half has shaped up for him. averaging 13 points a game, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. Looking at those numbers, you'd probably say, yeah, that's about what we'd expect out of him.
Which isn't really what any player wants to hear. I mean, you don't want to meet expectations. You want to underpromise and overdeliver. You want to exceed expectations, and maybe we'll start to see him do that shortly.
Paul outside. Shot clock at 6. Shot off the screen, and Crawford gets it to go on the assist by Paul. 16 points for Jamal Crawford.
Now you got to like his shot selection today. He set a good example for the rest of his teammates.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Hey, Kevin. Well, Coach Doc Rivers certainly hasn't minced words since joining the Clippers. He's held each player accountable and defined roles. He told DeAndre Jordan he wouldn't run any plays for him, that he just wanted him to focus on defense. Jordan said Doc knows how to reach people. There are egos on every team, and he knows how to control all of that. It's honesty. Refreshing, gentlemen.
Champion with the Celtics. He's one of the best coaches in the league. Thanks, Doris. Back to Paul. Throws it up high, and DeAndre Jordan throws it down.
What a beautiful pass to set that one up.
The pass might have been pretty, but the finish, I thought,
A heck of a combination. Pretty pass and an angry punch.
I would call it an irate finish even.
Jared Dudley's checked in for Barnes. J.J. Barea's checked in for Minnesota. Here's G, defended by Paul. They set the pick. Here's Wiggins. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
Well, they've really dominated on the glass. And, of course, they've done a lot of good things here tonight, but the rebounds have played a major factor.
Hey, Steve, you know rebounding always one of the key barometers in determining the victor.
The drive by Paul. And Jordan gets it to go. Jordan's got 6 points in the quarter.
They're playing with a purpose, guys. The big lead becoming bigger. I like the look in their eyes.
And it's on both ends that they've been controlling the action.
Here's G. He kicks it to Young. And here's Wiggins. A floater. The Clippers grab the miss. Jordan's got 4 rebounds in this game.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at it.
It's tipped. And Dudley kicks to Crawford. And it's the Clippers scoring again.
Boy, that mid-range jumper is a beautiful thing to have in your bag, and they've had it going today.
Yeah, but look down at the other end of the court. The same has not held true.
Pekovic dishes to G. Pekovic with a screen on Paul. They get it back. And that one's good. Pekovic has got 12 in the game.
Well, he certainly isn't the one to blame for them being in the hole. He's been on the money with his game.
Paul kicks to Dudley. And a miss there on the triple. Minnesota's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. G passes to Pekovic. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Just absolute domination in this one for Pekovic. 12 points, and he has been the definition of a thief with all those steals.
I'll say, I mean, defensively, he's fought.
Need more than that, son.
Doing what I can, Coach.
Is any sloppy ball handling when he...
It's go time. Check in.
I'm on it.
There's 21 seconds left to play in the third. Rubio outside. The dish to Williams. Back to Rubio. Kicks to Brewer. There's the triple. No luck. And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in this one may already have been decided. Los Angeles on top, running away with this one. And fourth quarter basketball will be coming your way on 2K Sports right after this. And our State Farm assist of the game replay. Great offensive play. 1 of 8 assists on the night that we've seen from G.
And you got to love that play, guys, but it's been one after another for him all game long. He just has that uncanny awareness of where his teammates are on the court.
Now Farmar. A moment now to reset the lineups, brought to us by Gatorade, all fueled up here for the 4th quarter. So for the Clippers right now, we've got Spencer Hawes. Davis is out there with Barnes. Then it's Martin, and it's Farmar in at the point guard. Here's G. Pass to Budinger. To the wing on the left. 5 to shoot. The baseline J. There's the block. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. And the Clippers making a change here. Crawford's checked in. G, no good.
Very poor shot selection there, guys.
Crawford kicks to Hawes. Cans it from downtown. Hawes got the 4th quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Clippers. Down low, here's Dang, and he banks in the layup.
Can't pass up that kind of look.
A few possessions into the 4th quarter, just over a minute played. Farmar kicks to Davis. Farmar dishes to Crawford.
Well, guys, maybe the most important play in the NBA that isn't really tracked at all is the screen. A good one can make a huge difference in creating a high percentage shot, but it's a play that so often goes overlooked.
And here is Los Angeles now. Clock at 6. Outside Martin. From the arc. The rebound by Bennett. For Minnesota, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the 4th quarter. To the paint. It's tipped. It's stolen by Davis. Farmar passes to Crawford.
Talk about a terrific game for Crawford. 18 points, and he's stolen the ball 4 times. He's had great awareness out there exploiting those.
You're better than that.
Not tonight.
It really does.
At the line for 2.
And here is Los Angeles now. Paul outside. Outside Griffin. From 12 feet out. And misses it off the right side of the rim. And screens Clark getting more attention with modern scouting. The old stats look at the outcome of a play, make, a miss. It's like evaluating chess by only the checkmate.
No, I agree. I mean, you start to dig deeper and get to other layers of how you analyze the numbers and how that affects how you game plan to discover the tendencies of players. And all of that you're doing in an effort to become more successful.
And here is Hawes. Here's Redick, 6 to shoot. Busts the J after the cagey pass fake. Redick's got 5 points now this quarter.
And we head to the final buzzer in a crushing blowout. Big-time dominance. This will go in the books as a really gaudy win for Los Angeles.
Agreed, Steve, and as one-sided as it gets today, you know, Clark, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
You're right, Kevin. It's hard to think of anything that didn't go right for them. I mean, game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was spot on.
And when it's all said and done here, this will mark their 38th W on the year.
This will cap a dominant run of games against these guys this year. They've played 3 times, and it's going to be 3-0 when this one's over.
Well, once they'd taken the first 2 from them, you could just sense how this was going to go.
Paul outside. The Clippers need to get off a shot. Here's Hawes. He drains the turnaround jump shot.
Just look at how quickly their lead has grown over the course of the last few possessions.
Boy, they've really saved their best for last, haven't they?
Here's G. In the corner, it's Brewer. Here's G, defended by Paul. G kicks to Bennett. From deep, and Barea with the basket on the assist by Bennett.
You know, if this had come earlier, they might have been able to get back into it.
Yeah, but as it is, too little, too late.
And here is Paul. So it's the Timberwolves now. So it's Los Angeles winning this one easily. Not much to be critical of with this win, Clark.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, Blake, it looked like you guys came out with a very defensive-minded approach, trying to limit their looks and keeping a hand up at all times.
Yeah, I mean, everybody came out and did a great job, and we're contesting shots, which forced them to miss more shots, and make sure we had a hand in their face, and then we got rebounds and got on the open court and hit shots.
Thanks for your time, Blake. Kevin.
That was not pretty, man. We all got to step our games up, or we'll be selling sodas in the arena instead of playing in it.
When I hear that.
All I can say is, based on tonight's performance, you'll be selling drinks before me.
Would you like regular soda or diet soda, sir?
After tonight, I better have diet. Help me be a little quicker to those loose
man.
balls.
Take care of that belly.
Reach out, touch faith.